It is a beautiful morning outside, no matter what your weather looks like, because God has made the day for you. This is His gift to you. And I'm here on the Morning Mindset. My name is Carey Green, by the way. I'm here on the Morning Mindset edition to help you think rightly about the day that's ahead, to think about it through the lens of who God has made you to be in this world. That's what the Morning Mindset edition is all about. I often refer to it as a 5-minute shot to the soul to help you think rightly about the day, because as you think is how you're going to live the day. It's guaranteed. And in the previous editions of the Morning Mindset, I've been talking about the words Paul gives to this group of believers in a city called Colossae. And he writes this book of Colossians to them, and we've been looking at chapter 3 most recently. And Paul has told them a number of things, all based around the fact that their life has been changed through their faith in Jesus Christ. And one of the most significant things is he says that when we place our faith in Jesus Christ, our old sinful self is put off, and a new self, which is being renewed in knowledge after the image of God Himself, is put on to us. So think about it as taking off a big heavy coat and putting on a new one that's clean, it's lightweight, it fits you perfectly, it's comfortable. That's the imagery that Paul's using here. We've put off the old and we've put on the new. And he says the reason that has happened, the reason God has done that, is because on a very real, fundamental level, our identity has changed. We are now with Christ in God. Our life, Paul says in verse 3 of chapter 3, is hidden with Christ in God. And that fact changes everything. We are now in this planet, on this planet, living a life here with a new mission, a new purpose, a new outlook, a new way of interacting, because we are different. And one of the ways that our world spins around, I guess you'd say, culturally speaking, is by virtue of conflict. Have you noticed that? There are so many things going around on social media or on the news where people are at odds, and people find ways to be at odds. They find things to argue about. They find ways to belittle and demean others. It seems like not my president, not my whatever. You see the hashtags on social media. It's just this attitude of opposition and resistance and conflict. And Paul says here in verse number 11 that when people place their faith in Christ, they become part of a new culture, a new nation, so to speak. That's what Peter says in 1 Peter. He says we're a new nation. But listen to what Paul says. He says here, and by here he means in Christ, in this new thing called the church. Here, there is not Greek and Jew. So racial or religious differences are not what's at issue here. There is not circumcised and uncircumcised. That's a reference to the Jew-Gentile distinctions that were so prevalent in his day. Here there is not barbarian or Scythian or slave or free, but Christ is all and in all. What is Paul trying to say? He's saying that when the old self has been put off and the new self has been placed upon you, and all that is done by God when you place your faith in Christ, he's saying you become part of a new culture. You become part of a new economy where there are not all these distinctions that people get so bothered about. There are not all these areas where conflict and division and strife are able to happen, because we as believers in Jesus Christ are now united. All of us to a person are hidden with Christ in God. All of us have our life flowing out of the very being of God Himself. And Christ is all, and He is in all. What effect does that have on you today for the life you're going to live and the people you're going to see? I'd love to hear about it. Carey at livebuildchange.com.